Hey guys, it is April from Getting Hygge With It. Today I have a very special historical fiction book haul for you. So there's a little story to this one. A couple of weekends ago, I was in a really crappy place. I was really stressed out about not being pregnant and just really down in the dumps about it. And my husband is, honestly, I don't know how I landed him because he decided to perk me up. He woke up on Sunday morning and he was like, well, I've got to go somewhere today and it would be great if you could join me. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And I assumed we were going to church. We haven't been for a little while and we should do that. So we were driving in the car, literally past the church where we got married, and he kept going and I was like, no, where are we parking? Because like it's back there and you're really starting to go far away. And he was like, oh, I never said we were going to church. And so we parked downtown and we ended up going to a little lovely book sale. It was like grab a box and fill them with as much as you can, and that's $10. I ended up getting like something like 20 books, but these are part of that book haul that I got. And it was honestly the most romantic thing anyone's done for me. I mean, trust me, I am high maintenance and I like to go for dinner and all of those things. The man knows how to woo me, but this just, I think because I was in such a slump, that meant so much to me. So I wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much, Barry. I love you so much if you're watching this. So let's get into it. So the first book I picked up is Snowflower and the Secret Fan. Now, I actually hauled Snowflower and the Secret Fan. Ooh, it's gotta be 2 or 3 months ago. But the cover was one of those like movie related covers and I just didn't like it as much because look at this freaking cover. It is gorgeous. So naturally I picked this up. It follows 2 women in China who write to each other on fans, and that's how they deliver messages to one another, and they go through a ton of things in their life. They go through ups and downs in marriages and motherhood and things like foot binding, and I've heard wonderful things about this. This is by Lisa C., who I've been dying to read for a very long time, so I think I will start with Snowflower and the Secret Fan because it is her most famous. I also bought The Piano Maker. This is set in 1933. And it's about this woman named Helene, and she arrives in a small town on the French shore of Nova Scotia at that time. And she starts exploring the town and she stumbles on this piano, and she's so excited to see this piano because her family has manufactured that type of piano for generations. So it follows her settling into a new small town. And it flashes backwards to what has brought her there. It sounds like her husband, who was a soldier, passes away. And then it also sounds like at some point she rekindles a relationship with a suitor. And so it follows her history and what has brought her to Nova Scotia. I also got Girl with a Pearl Earring. So this story is through the eyes of 16-year-old Greet. The world of 1660s Holland comes dazzlingly alive in this richly imagined portrait of the young woman who inspired one of Vermeer's most celebrated paintings. Now, Vermeer is my dad's absolute favorite artist of all time. And so this is kind of a little nod to him, and historical fiction is my jam, so I'm really looking forward to this. I picked up The Lake of Dreams, and this is by Kim Edwards, who wrote The Memory Keeper's Daughter. Now I've seen The Memory Keeper's Daughter everywhere. I'm very eager to read that, but I had never heard of this. This sounds so interesting. I'll read you the blurb on the back. At a crossroads in her life, Lucy Jarrett returns home to upstate New York from Japan, only to find herself haunted by her father's unresolved death a decade ago. Old longings stirred up by Keegan Fall, a local glass artist who was once her passionate first love, lead her into the unexpected late one night as she paces the hallways of her family's rambling lakeside house. She discovers locked in a window seat a collection of objects that first appear to be idle curiosities, but soon reveal a hidden family history. As Lucy explores these traces of her lineage, from an heirloom blanket and dusty political tracts to a web of illusions depicted in stained glass windows, both in her hometown and beyond, a new family narrative emerges. It will link her to a unique slice of the suffragette movement and yield dramatic insights that will free her to live her life to its fullest and deepest. That just sounds lovely. It's got a little mystery, a little history. I'm in. I also picked up Amy Tan's The Valley of Amazement. This is set in Shanghai in 1912, and it follows Violet Minturn, who's the daughter of this man who owns a courtesan house. When the Qing dynasty is overturned, Violet is separated from her mom, and she has to become a virgin courtesan. So it sounds like this spans not just her story, but also two other generations. So I'm really looking forward to this. I also got Snow Falling on Cedars. This book, I'm telling you, I have passed this by and picked it up, intending to buy it and then put it down, and then picked it up and then put it down, I would say 5 times, and I finally took the plunge. This follows a Japanese American man in 1954. And in this little town that he lives in, a local fisherman is found suspiciously drowned, and they believe that this Japanese American man is to blame for it. And so he goes to trial, and you follow the trial and you follow his history in World War II. I'm really interested in this one, and I can't believe that it took me so long to pick it up. It's kind of ridiculous. I also got The 100 Secret Senses by Amy Tan. Sadly, when I picked it up, I was just so excited that I found another Amy Tan that I didn't really stop and look at the quality of how good this is holding up. It's yellowed and I think a little water damaged, so I might look for a better copy of this, but I am excited about the storyline. This follows Olivia, who is half Chinese, but very typically American. And it follows her, the grudge and the anger that she has for her sister, who is a half-sister, and her name is Quan Li. And she's embarrassed by her sister. Her sister speaks mangled English, is cheerfully deaf to Olivia's sarcasm, and sees the dead with her yin eyes. So I think it's the story of two sisters, and I love sister stories. So I am looking forward to this. I just hope I can get another copy that's not so mangled. I also got The Power of One by Bryce Courtney. I have been looking for this book for a very long time. Sadly, it's a really crappy cover. Who decided to design it like this? I don't like it, but I've wanted to read this story for so long. This is the story of PK, and this is set in 1940s in Southern Africa, and it's really a growing up story of PK, who goes to this boarding school, and he's surrounded by these like neo-Nazi Afrikaners. This is about survival and strength, and I cannot wait to get to this. This is quite a chunker. I think it's like about 500 pages, so not too bad. I've been meaning to read this for so long. I'm so happy to have a copy. Okay, so the end here, we're diving like straight into Philippa Gregory. I really just want to pick up so many of hers as I can because I want to read them, and I think it's a great way to learn about history. So I picked up The Constant Princess by Philippa Gregory, and this follows the story of Catherine of Aragon. I also picked up The Other Boleyn Girl. Sadly, this is kind of in not 100% great condition, and it's the movie tie-in cover, which I don't like that, but I don't really mind. So The Other Boleyn Girl follows Mary Boleyn and Anne, who, as you know, they struggle with one another to win the love of Henry VIII. So that should be interesting. Next, I got the Boleyn Inheritance, and this follows Anne of Cleves, and she inherits the throne, and then she finds herself in a bind pretty much right away, and she's dealing with Catherine Howard, who's also trying to get her way to the throne. Finally, I picked up The Other Queen, and this is kind of flashes forward from the other books. This follows Mary Queen of Scots and her battle with Elizabeth I, who is her cousin. So I've been actually really wanting to read more about Mary Queen of Scots, so I'm super glad to have this. I am really going to start with Three Sisters, Three Queens by Philippa Gregory, because I feel like that is a good place. I might go backwards and read The Constant Princess, but I'm super excited. I loved this haul. It meant so much to me. I hope that you guys liked this haul. Let me know if you're reading anything historical fiction wise that you're really liking. I'd love to know, and I will see you next time. Bye!